All right, so like I always do, I'm going to share my screen. And welcome to your October meeting, gang. We've got some good info for you. And I think you're going to like it. So here we go. First things first, as usual, we're going to have some fun. Anybody like having fun? Not Travis. Not Travis. I'm going to give you guys a safe space to learn. Make sure that you guys feel comfortable being yourself. It's just fine to be where you're at in your stage of growth. Give you something you can use and walk away with, and we're going to back it up with some science so you know it's true. So first things first, don't forget you have continuing education. New agents, you have 18 hours continuing ed. Yay. It's more of the same. Not. It's a totally different game now that you're licensed. When you do your 18 hours and your onboarding and your MLS class, you're actually going to start learning some things that'll help you in the industry. You're going to learn some things that are going to make you be able to service your clients better. So that's a good thing. Make sure you pay those renewal fees as well. Brokers, we already took care of your duplicate license. So make sure that you take care of your regular license and make sure you get your CE taken care of. 7 hours of CE. Make sure that includes ethics if it's your year to have to include that. Something wonderful, if you haven't noticed, that we've included on your scorecards, your weekly scorecards at the bottom. It shows if you have renewed your license, and it shows if you've done your continuing ed requirements. Make sure you're looking at those scorecards that come from the office. It's more than just where you're at financially with the job, because now it includes the education and things like that. So stay on top of that, please. Upcoming events. Next Tuesday, we are going to talk about database management, also known as how do you get leads. What was that? Sorry, I'm easily distracted, which is why I'm going to mute them over there. There we go. So how do you get leads? We're going to talk about that with your database management, and that's going to be a good one. We'll hold that in Bentonville and we'll stream it here. On the 18th, we will do our top producers event, and we're holding that at Fast Lanes again. We did that once and it was a blast. We had a really good time. So looking forward to those that qualified joining us and getting a little gratitude from the office for your hard work. Ninja meeting with Terry. This is our last one. Who's been going to those? Raise your hand. Who has loved that and has thought, my gosh, that is helping me. So with that, Charity, do you mind me asking, have you gotten new material, or is it just keeping you in the game?
I mean, there's always something new that I learn from it, right? I don't always keep like here, but like it keeps me in the game. It keeps me, hearing it again and again. It's been really good for me.
Good, yeah. Good. That's the way I feel, and that's why I go back to Ninja every year. That's why I go to leadership every year. That's why I go to an installation every year. I know that's something that you can't always afford, especially when you're starting out. However, when you can, that will keep you in the game. That will keep you going. That will keep your mindset right and your activities correct. So loving that, and that'll be our last one of these with Terry. And then the next Tuesday, October 19th, thank you. We will be doing a new buyer presentation and buyer interview process. The one we have is good. The one we're creating is better. So why not do better? And it's more ninja, so it's a little less confusing for those of us that are trying to implement Ninja as much as we can. It's following that process a lot closer. And then the one after that will be a listing presentation, and same pitch on that one. We're just trying to duplicate better what Ninja is doing, but with Smith and Associates branding. So be ready for that. Then we have an agent mixer, and we would love for our newer agents to make sure that they're at this, and make sure that the rest of us get to hang out with the newer agents and get to know them a little better. And that's going to be at McLard's Barbecue in Rogers on the patio, because that's where Bill wanted to go. That's right. I do too. Yeah. So top producer event, this is where everybody gets to go crazy. We got Zach Stanley, we've got Eric, we've got Tina, we've got the man sitting right there, Mr. Travis. We've got the other man sitting right there, Mr. Keith, and we've got Evan McGinnis. And we're going to do cosmic bowling. I'm not sure, what is cosmic bowling?
I think it's like the glow in the dark, like black lights kind of thing. Yeah.
Is it the 13th or 18th?
I'm going to wear a fancy shirt for that.
It's next Wednesday, I think. Yeah.
Next Wednesday.
Take your
That's what Felicia said.
Take your mushrooms, okay. And then
It is glow, Jason. It's glow light bowling. So wear bright colored clothing.
Oh, I didn't put that on.
It's gonna be fun.
Gonna be fun. All right. And the new agent mixer at McLard's Barbecue. Is this actually their barbecue?
Yeah, I think
In the
so, yeah.
picture?
Yeah, the original one is in Hot Springs.
Really?
Yeah, it's like kind of a hole in the wall. It's like a big hole in the wall. You don't want to eat there, but it's really good. And they brought one up in Rogers, and it's very different. Their patio is the coolest patio there. It's really cool.
Right. Awesome. Excited.
It's not rights, but it's
Yes, no, nothing.
right, exactly, Travis.
If it's not right, I don't want to be wrong. Let's talk about what the market's doing. Anybody, when they look at spreadsheets like this, just kind of glaze over and just be like, oh, great.
Oh, I love that.
I love spreadsheets too. It's how I live. I organize my life this way. Benton County, we're seeing $145 a square foot median. I like going to medians more than averages. Averages get skewed. Medians I can trust a little better. So 145 bucks a square foot in Benton County. Who thinks that that's kind of crazy? Right? That's what's going on this year. $145 a square foot. All signs point to it becoming more expensive at the moment. Madison County, this trips me out, $118.50. Madison County. Washington County, $146.26. Everybody thinks that Benton County is where it's at. Washington County is more expensive.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? So those are our prices. Washington County, the average house is a little bit smaller, about 100 square feet smaller. But both of them, if you want to remember easy numbers, the average house selling right now is around 1,800 square feet. If you've got a nice house in a decent neighborhood for around 1,800 square feet, that is exactly what the market wants. They are dying for it. They want it badly. So anything around that, you're going to be able to price that at around $145 a square. Something that I love saying is follow the market. If it's a seller's market, represent sellers. If it's a buyer's market, represent buyers. However, to get buyers, you need listings. So always represent sellers. Always, always, always. Those are your numbers. Those are easy numbers to know. Something else to look at is our median days on the market. That's gotten longer. We were in the 30s. It's gotten longer. Things aren't flying off the market as quickly as they were. 45 days, 49 days. I'm not worried about Madison County's 96. There's so few sell there. It's 168 total for our market. for neighbors MLS. So that's where we're at. Any questions on this?
So Benton County has almost twice as many listings as Washington.
Sold. Almost twice as many sold.
Just when you commented that Washington is, the median was a little bit higher
Mhm.
than Benton, is that typical? Is that a reflection of,
It's been higher for years.
okay,
Yeah,
that's why I didn't know
Yeah.
that, if they swapped or.
no, it's been higher. But there's a lot more new builds going on in Benton County than in Washington County. Why? Anybody got an opinion of that? I do.
I think there are a couple of reasons.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think more people are moving into Bentonville,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of builders won't work in.
Yeah,
And I
On
hear
the-
something from people coming from like California and places like that, that they like the familiarity of the shopping and stuff in Benton County. It
Mhm.
looks similar to where they came from, but Washington County is not, Pinnacle and all that whole area there,
they've allowed more
they've
industry
they've
to,
allowed
yeah.
those things to come in up there, so.
Yeah.
It's more attractive,
We've had plenty of them apply in Fayetteville and get turned down.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's quite a bit of land for sale by the interstate, by the mall,
Yeah,
and they're getting turned down.
yeah. It's really too bad.
I bet those landowners are tired of it. Yeah. And I know,
We moved out of
Yeah.
Fayetteville for that purpose.
Yeah.
Well,
Moved
my
our
husband
business.
moved a business out of Fayetteville.
We moved our business, yeah.
Yeah, that's why they built Tawny Town, they couldn't have built that shop like they built it
Yeah.
in Fayetteville.
so let's talk about this. How does that change?
Get involved in local government.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
want to see a change, big
Yeah.
change.
that's it.
Chambers of commerce, things like that, that you can be part of. And
Who has time to do that?
No.
Okay. So
You support people who do.
you support people who do. You talk about it with your friends. What do we want to see with our property values in Washington County? We want to see those continue to rise. We need to educate our homeowners here, educate our sphere that, hey, did you know we had a BMW dealership that wanted to come to Northwest Arkansas and was excited about buying land in Fayetteville and got turned down. You know this story, Tina, don't you? With Terminella.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like Williams Tractor's moving out of Fayetteville.
There you go.
That's huge.
That's big.
That is a big business, and they're building an enormous place in Springdale.
Wow.
Yeah, right on the highway, right on
And
the
that's
interstate.
where we moved from too, right there. And
Yeah.
we wanted to get in Benton County. We wanted to get just out of Washington. So.
Well, I know for a fact too that Williams Tractor and TDS got some pretty good offers too.
Yeah, we did.
So that's,
And they pursued us, so we got
Yeah.
out.
I don't know that was political as much as
No.
profitable.
Well,
Um,
however, we had said for years,
If the right,
that offer came, we would gladly.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we were kind of, hoping, and we had actually put feelers out there,
yeah.
that we were interested in going.
Well, and it's interesting because our current government, which I have no issue with this, is really pushing hard for affordable housing, affordable housing, affordable housing, affordable housing. That's great. That's great. We want affordable housing. I believe strongly that home ownership is a path to financial freedom. I really believe strongly that it is. And if it's too hard for you to get in to home ownership, then something's wrong. However, there are people that own homes that don't want to see those go down. And we need to see some industry and some shops and some commercial stuff come to town. And we need to talk about these things to help our people know they don't always consider that that their property values are tied to things like that. And they are.
as a business owner, we felt like the city government in Fayetteville was adversarial towards our business. Every time we tried to do something, even, put a sign up, it was just, adversarial. I mean, we literally had a fight on our hands. They told Williams Ford Tractor they had to put bicycle racks in front of their business. When they remodeled, they wouldn't approve it unless they put bicycle racks. And the owner told Tim, said, I've never in all my years seen somebody ride up on a bicycle to get a tractor. That's the most asinine thing I've ever seen or heard. I mean, seriously, who does that? That's the kind of, stuff we got going on up there.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's
So
wild.
they put the bicycle rack in, and then they started their exit plan. Get out. We're dealing with cuckoos, so,
Yeah. Along those lines, let me plug something that I believe is becoming more and more important again. Our involvement with Neighbor and with the ARA is important. Again, it's really hard to have time to volunteer for a committee, to be a part of that, to grow in the committee, to be a committee lead, to sit on the board, to become board president. That's hard to have time to do. Also, if you don't do it, because all of those positions are volunteer positions, if you don't do it and you don't like what's going on there, and you don't think that they have our best interest in mind, but you're not taking the time to help. 1 and 1 is 2. I don't know how better to say it without being offensive. We're going to see some changes, hopefully, in some of the rules for they don't call them fines. What do they call them? It's not a fine. Feels like a fine.
I thought of it as a fine.
We're working on this. My issue is that the MLS system automatically lets admin there know when you've screwed something up, when you've put in a wrong zip code, when you've put in a wrong school system for the address. It automatically lets them know, and then they send something out that says, hey, you need to change this. If it's not changed within this amount of time, you have not a fine. And then you also have to attend an MLS class. You attend the MLS class, I promise you, every time you attend that MLS class, you'll grow. So like, I don't have a big issue with that. You'll grow. However, if it lets them know automatically that you messed it up, why doesn't it let us know automatically when we're messing it up? Because it feels like a profit center when that happens. I will tell you, these are good people that don't mean for it to feel like that. They just haven't experienced it and don't know. That's what that is. When you go in to put in a listing and you're typing in the listing and you're getting everything in, and on the first page it says listing date, and you put today's date, and then you go to the second page, and then you get a phone call and the seller says, hey, water main broke, don't put the house on the market yet. And you say, okay, I'll save it as incomplete. Week later, everything's fine. The grass is growing up over the trench that got dug. And you go ahead and input the listing and turn it live, and you're excited and happy. You have now broken the rules. How? Didn't change the listing date. Why didn't it just automatically let you know? Hey, you're about to do something wrong that you're going to wind up in MLS class all day for, and we don't want you to. Are you meaning to do this? Do you want to go ahead and do this? Can we get that kind of automation? I think so. It's 2021.
What's that validate button at the bottom? Like, it checks it, I bought it checked for all of them. You know, like you hit, you click that and then it gives you the red little things and.
It checks for things you've left empty, not if you've done it right. But then once you click done, it automatically alerts staff. So it has the capability. It has the capability.
A little report that you click on that show after you do that, if you've had any violations, to show up in red.
That's the validation.
No, there's a report, there's another page you can click on that when you input your listing, there's a little green sentence that comes up in your thing, check this, and you pull this report up and it lists everything that you have there, something red. It's a violation.
Have you already hit submit and turned it
Yeah,
on?
yeah,
It's too late.
pops up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, but it pops up. when
Yeah.
it's, is that what they're getting, you think?
Probably. But I'm talking with them about this. And you know what? As I'm talking with them about it, they're nice. They say, huh, that makes sense. So our involvement matters, guys. It's not an adversarial thing. These are people volunteering, trying to make our industry in Northwest Arkansas better. They care, or they wouldn't be there. Are there some there that love the pomp and circumstance that's involved with it? Absolutely. Absolutely there are. Are there some there that don't? Absolutely. And it's not about that to them. It's about making it better. So the more involved we become in those things, the better. Some of the things that you can become involved with there are so incredibly benevolent. The Special Olympics Committee, oh my gosh. One of the most special times that I've had at the board was when they brought some of the athletes there, and the athletes spoke about what it meant to them that they got to compete and what our support means to them. Oh, there wasn't a dry eye. It was just beautiful. It really was. So there are wonderful things there that you can get involved in that aren't as dry as talking about the MLS system. And I just want to encourage us to start to have a culture that gravitates towards that service. I think it's going to be important for us. So we'll be showing you guys some things that they have that you can take part in. Let's talk about our goal. We had a goal for another 30% increase and sales of 85 million this year. And we did not have a 30% increase in agents. We didn't want a 30% increase in agents. We want to bring on people that we like, that fit our culture, that are intelligent, that are going to do good service. And we didn't have a 30% increase in agents. We want to create a 30% increase in your income and make that happen for you. One of the things that I love most about our structure is that we have a cap. And with that cap, as long as the office is taken care of financially, I'm very excited to see my agents create more wealth for them and their families. That's what this is about. So where are we at? What's going on with that? Well, we are on track for 91.5. So things are going well. We're actually at 68 right now, a little over 68, I think about 68.5 million in our sales volume. But the cool thing to me is in 4 short years, we've become the 22nd strongest firm in Northwest Arkansas, over 310 offices. That's cool. That is so cool. Top 20 by the end of the year. You guys want to do that? That'd be fun to brag about, wouldn't it? So this month, one of the things that's going to help us get there this month, I want you guys to focus on something. Forget fear. Just forget it. Turn to the person next to you, and I want you to tell them what your irrational fear is. Just go ahead.
I do.
I haven't decided yet. I have so many irrational things.
I'm terrified of them.
Pick one. Just pick one.
Yeah, so I'd be afraid over here and I'm not.
So some did it, some didn't. It's okay, John.
Me too.
I wouldn't have posted this, but Felicia did. She's afraid of fish.
For anything that comes out of the water.
Yeah, yeah. She also doesn't eat fish.
Does she bathe?
Huh?
Does she bathe?
Does she bathe?
She doesn't like things in the water.
Yeah. Probably not.
As long as the water's not occupied.
So my wife thinks I have an irrational fear. When we're at the zoo, I walk quickly by the bears.
You do?
Yes,
Why?
bears are bad. Bears are bad. I've been attacked by a bear. It's not an irrational fear. They suck. I hate bears. They look really cute. They're fuzzy. They look like you should be able to just, and they will eat you. Mhm. I was 8 years old and at a petting zoo where there was a grizzly cub. And I played with this little tiger cub for a while. And then the guy was like, "You want to play with the bear?" And I said, "Sure, that sounds awesome." And the bear sunk its teeth into my arm and started dragging me into its cage. And they beat it with a 2x4 to get it to let go of me. And the guy was apologizing up and down, and mom and dad, because it was the early 80s, they were like, "It's okay."
Shake it off.
Yeah,
Rub some dirt on it.
right. So yes, at the zoo, I walk quickly by the bears. They're not entertaining to me. I don't enjoy it. I don't want to be there. Maybe I'll get over that, but here's the thing. I don't have to. I don't have to. That's not something that will enrich my life. If I stick around to view the bears, I will feel bad. I don't need to do that. I move on. What I did need to do was face an irrational fear in 2004 when I called an expired listing, and it was this great big lake house. It was a big, back then, contemporary for then, lake house. No lie, gold fixtures and marble. I mean, tacky, but amazing. Had what's it called, an atrium? So a big atrium with plants everywhere, these tropical plants and parrots. Yeah, amazing. And I called these people and I said, "Hi, this is Jason Smith with ERA Eric Duca and Associates. Saw your house didn't successfully sell. Were you aware that it's not on the market anymore?" I said, yeah, we are. I said, I do studies on homes that didn't successfully sell. And I'd like to share the results with you and just tell you what I found. Go over those with you and just see if you like the way I work, also show you how I work. And if you like what I have to say, we can talk about what it would be like to do business with me. Would you be interested in that? I was 29 years old, reading a script that I now have memorized from 18 years ago. And they said, yeah, absolutely. And I hung up and I was like, oh no. Anybody ever get a client and say, oh no, what now? And I went in and I'd sold some houses by then. I'd sold a few and I went into my broker and I said, what do I do? This thing's expensive. And he said, it's the same paperwork. It's the exact same process. Just add a zero or two. It's the exact same process. You're going to go in there and you're going to see that they have some of the same stuff that you have, and you're going to be fine. And I did, and I sold their house. But that was an irrational fear. And newer agents have extremely irrational fears that don't work for you. They don't help you. What you need to know is that we got the 2x4 and we're going to beat the bear back. And we got your back. And whatever you need to proceed without fear, because our team will stand up for you and take care of it. This video is something that I hadn't planned on sharing until I spoke with somebody yesterday, and they said they started talking about their experience skydiving. I was like, well, that is just right in line with, you're like, no, skydiving, bears, no. But this is quite a story.
So, for me, the daily confrontation with fear has become a real practice for me since about three years ago. I went skydiving in Dubai, right? And skydiving is a really interesting confront with fear, right? So I gotta stand up. I gotta stand up. All right. So all your friends, what happens? You go out. Done my thing. So what happens is you go out the night before, and you take a drink with your friends, and somebody says, "Yeah, we should go skydiving tomorrow." And you go, "Yeah, we'll go skydiving tomorrow." "Yeah, Dad." You go, "Yeah." Everybody goes, "Yeah." Right? And you go home by yourself. You're like, Right? You're like, well, I mean, they was drunk too. Right? So maybe they not, maybe, I mean, we don't have to go. We don't have to do it. So then that night you're laying in your bed and you just keep, and you're terrified. You keep imagining over and over again jumping out of an airplane, and you can't figure out why you would do that, right? And you're laying there and you have the worst night's sleep of your life, but you still have the hope that your friends were drunk, right? So you wake up the next day and you go, down and you say where you were going to meet, and everybody's there. You're like, oh shit. All right, cool. Right? So you get in the van and you don't know that your friends had the same night that you had, because they're pretending like they did. They're like, yeah, man, my uncle's a Navy SEAL, and it's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to this. You're like, oh my God. And your stomach is terrible. You can't eat and everything, but you don't want to be the only punk who doesn't jump out of this airplane. So you get there, and then you have this safety brief. And you're standing there, and the guys will tell you, well, if the chute doesn't open, what's going to happen is you do it. Well, why the hell what could happen? The chute wouldn't open, right? So you do a thing, and what you do is your first jump, you're attached to a guy who is going, he's going to walk you out. So you go, and you get there, and there's an airplane, and nobody's stopping. Everybody's still going. So you get onto the airplane and you're sitting there and it's extra because you're sitting on some dude's lap, some stranger. You're sitting on his lap. And it's like, you get trying to make small talk. Yeah, man. So you be jumping with people all the time, huh? Right? So, and then you just want to make sure, you got kids, right? You got people you need to see, right? You just want to make sure he's serious, right? So you get in there. So everything's normal. So you fly and you go up to 14,000 feet, and you notice there's a light. It's red and it's yellow and green, right? So right now the light's red. So then you start thinking at some point the light's going to go green because you don't know what's going to happen, right? And you wait and it goes yellow and the light goes green and somebody opens the door. And in that moment you realize you've never been in a freaking airplane with the door open. Right? Terror. Oh, sorry, I'm spitting. Oh, sorry. No, terror. Right? So you go, and then, if you were smart, you sat in the back, so you don't go first, right? And then people start going out of the airplane, and you go, and the guy walks you up to the end of the thing, and you're standing, and your toes are on the edge, and you're looking out down to death. And they say, on 3. And they say, 1, 2. And he pushes you on 2 because people grab on 3. Right? And you go, Arr! And you fall out of the airplane. And in 1 second, you realize that it's the most blissful experience of your life. You're flying, right? It doesn't feel like falling, right? It's like you actually are kind of held a little bit by the wind, and then you start falling, and there's zero fear. You realize that the point of maximum danger is the point of minimum fear. It's bliss. It's bliss. And you're flying. Right? And you're doing that. And then 20 seconds, 25 seconds, 40 seconds. And you have enough time to just kind of like, oh, shit, that's that building. That's not like that one. Right? You start doing all of that. And the lesson for me was, why were you scared in your bed the night before? What do you need that fear for? Just don't go. Why are you scared in your bed 16 hours before you jump? Why are you scared in the car? Why could you not enjoy breakfast? What did you need that? The fear is fear of what? You're nowhere even near the airplane. Everything up to the stepping out, there's actually no reason to be scared. It only just ruins your day. You don't have to jump. And then in that moment, all of a sudden, where you should be terrified is the most blissful experience of your life. And God placed the best things in life on the other side of terror. On the other side of your maximum fear are all of the best things in life. You know. So that was my experience with skydiving and fear.
All right.
How much do you love that last statement?
Love it.
Isn't that good? Isn't that good? So good. I got the biggest sale of my year when I was just terrified that I wasn't going to sell that tacky gold marble place with parrots. Walking in there and just freaked out. Got a call this week, I think, maybe last weekend. New agent, scared, going to go meet with this seller and want to be prepared, want to be ready. And I don't know if they're going to want to do it for sale by owner or what. Just go talk to them, find out. Just find out. What if they ask me something I don't know? Tell them you'll find out. Tell them you'll find out. It's just, that's as simple as it gets. And I know that people like my brother, who is amazing, who is smarter than me. When I say smarter, I mean higher IQ, more able to learn, smarter. Overthinks everything. Overthinks everything. We went on a car trip. He told me the whole way, 5-hour journey about this problem in his life. I didn't say anything. We're coming back. We're about 30 minutes from my house. I still hadn't said anything. 4.5 hours, so 9.5 hours of hearing about his problem. I finally said, you know, someday you're just going to come to a point where you say, I'm not going to put up with that. And you're going to end that. And it was a job that he had. You're going to walk away from it. He said, it's just not that simple. He got furious with me. A few months later, he said, man, I just want you to know I'd had enough, and I walked away from that, and I'm going to be moving back to Arkansas. He was living in Florida. I didn't say I told you so, but I sure felt like it. And it's a process for some people that they have to go through. However, if you jump past that fear in talking to people about real estate, the best things in real estate are on the other side of terror. They are. You cannot get a client. You cannot get a paycheck without getting a client. You're going to have to go talk to somebody. You're going to have to do it. So that's our lesson today. I hope you enjoyed that. I loved Will's presentation. He's so good. Top sales leaders. These are the folks that had closings in September. Thank you, guys. You keep us afloat, you keep the lights on, and you keep our staff paid, and I'm grateful for it. Well done. Good job. Listing agent of the month is Mr. Travis.
Facebook decided to,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
I'll make it up to you today.
That's fine.
Anybody have stock in Facebook? Man, it plummeted.
Yeah. I heard
It
that.
did. Yeah,
Oh, good.
yeah.
It was great, though. It was all, it was
Man,
the best.
I have stock in Facebook. Keith. I bet it went back up today. I bet it did. Agent of the month is Mr. Zach Stanley, and his proud mom is sitting here grinning ear to ear. Awesome. That man's getting married in what, 2 weeks?
Less than 2 weeks. Yes.
Isn't that
yes.
something?
We're right in the middle of it.
Went to a big bachelor party over this weekend.
Oh,
Got
yes,
treated
yes,
right.
uh-huh. And
Yeah.
some guy, Zach said, this is so funny, he didn't really post this, but they were out there and he was doing some kind of hip hop dancing, him and a buddy of his, what, best man, and Zach has always been a great hip hop dancer.
Really?
Even when he was like in 5th grade, and like he would get on
This
stage.
is
and
good to
do
know.
hip-hop dancing and always, and so he said he's hip hop dancing, him and his best man, and some guy comes up to him afterwards and said he did such a great job that he gave him his Ray-Bans, and that's where the picture comes from. Zach has the Ray-Bans on with.
Oh, it's awesome.
He gave him his Ray-Bans because it was entertaining, I guess. I don't know, but that's.
That's a good thing, Stephanie. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay. You don't want gifts for dancing, Stephanie. so. I am going to rein the meeting back in. We are very proud of Zach and looking forward to him being married. And he's doing just such a wonderful job. He really is. Something that I want to tell you about all of these people that they all have in common that is emotional to me is that they're givers. Every last one of them are just caring givers. And they have procured their clients by giving and by treating them with kindness and sincerity. And it's not about the money to them. They're not tied to the outcome. It's about the service, and the money comes. And I'm really grateful that we have those kind of people. I really am. And that's worth that to me. So what's the opposite of fear? Love? Anyone else? Faith?
Boldness.
Boldness? Okay. Larry Kendall says that the opposite of fear is love. Because love will make you do the brave things. Love will make you take that step. Love will make you say, even if it hurts, I'm going to do this. Right? Ladies, many of you have gone through the most painful thing because of the hope of having a child, right? Did it hurt? Did it suck? Were you scared? Absolutely. What made you do it? I'm going to love that kid. I mean, we got one in there right now that might be in a stage that it's not.
Love.
Yeah. When we suck it up, like our video last week, fellas, and we go and ask the girl finally, how much fear is there? All of it. All of it. Will you go out with me? I think you're pretty. How do you say things that don't just sound stupid when you're doing that? And you get grinned at, and somebody finally says yes, and you're like, oh my gosh. It's for the hope of something good. And the hope of that good outweighs the fear. And that's what those people do. That's what these guys have done. They have stepped out and talked about things that maybe they don't know the answers to yet. And then they make the calls because they have the confidence that staff and brokers are there to help, and they're going to be okay. And they've stepped out and done that. Not everybody in this photo is a seasoned veteran. Travis, you're still fairly new. Zach's new. Eric's new. Tina's still fairly new. Charity's pretty new. Joe's pretty new. Stephanie, you've been around. Bill's been around. Stuart's fairly new. I mean, there's a lot of newer faces on there that haven't been in the business for 10 years, that don't have a ton of answers. And they cared about going out and helping somebody. You can do it. Hurry up, we've already seen this. All right, here we go.
When we're laying on our deathbed, you're not going to worry about how much money you had, how much power you had, how much prestige. You're going to see that that was all game, that that was all an illusion. The only other people's lives.
We are all on a separate journey. But the beautiful thing about our life is at my funeral, they ain't gonna talk about my success. They're gonna talk.
When we're laying on our deathbed, you're not going to worry about how much money you had, how much power you had, how much prestige. You're going to see that that was all game, that that was all an illusion. The only thing that's going to matter is the impact you had on other people's lives.
We are all on a separate journey. But the beautiful thing about our life here on this earth is at my funeral, they ain't gonna talk about my success. They're gonna talk about who Nick was and how Nick lived and how Nick loved and encouraged.
Success is incredibly important, but even more important than success, it's having an impact. It's knowing you haven't walked the planet in vain. It's knowing that because you've been here, you've blessed lives, you've developed people, and you have made the world a better place.
The effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Everything you gain in life will rot and fall apart, and all that will be left of you is what was in your heart.
Life is a mirror, and life gives us not what we want. Life gives us who we are. When you were born, you cried while the world rejoiced. Live your life in such a way that when you die, the world cries while you rejoice.
Isn't that a good one? You guys have some good things to give to your clients. You have some good things to give to your sphere. We're going to be talking about those, how to take care of your database in such a way that they feel blessed by you and cared for. Dawn, I love your mama, and she knows it, and she loves me too, and I know it. That's how you form relationships with clients. It just is. Sometimes it's sad because you go to funerals. And sometimes it's wonderful because you go to weddings. And that's our job, is recognizing pain and pleasure, and that it may cause a need for real estate to happen. And if it doesn't, care and love still happens. And that's beautiful. And the rest just gets taken care of. A very special job to be able to do that. A very special job to not be on an assembly line screwing lids on bottles. A very special job. So thank you guys. I hope you have a killer good week. I hope you enjoyed the meeting, and we'll see you next Tuesday in Bentonville or on the screen here to talk about something else. I don't even remember what it was now. What was it? Database management, AKA getting business. So thanks.